Welcome back to Horrorfurs. We're going to be talking about something kind of different today because this is not a movie or a story or anything. It's just kind of a weird piece of pop culture that still kind of, fits the bill for what we talk about on here. Rat Fink. Hello, Mr. Boris. Did you want to say something to the audience? Want to say hi to the YouTube audience? Okay, so first off, before we talk about Rat Fink, let's talk about his creator, Ed Big Daddy Roth. You may or may not be familiar with Ed Big Daddy Roth, but you're definitely familiar with things that he has sort of done. He's had kind of a big impact on popular culture. You might be familiar with these sort of like cartoon characters that have like big bulging eyes, and they're usually like driving muscle cars and have these big stick shift things. A lot of other artists have sort of kind of taken inspiration from that art style or made reference to it. Kind of a big deal, I guess. But his most popular creation was Rat Fink. And Rat Fink was a character that he created while working at a car shop or something. He was mainly doing like customizing cars and doing really crazy things with that. That was another thing that he kind of had like a big impact on, is the custom car culture. But while working at this shop, he started doing this thing where he would like airbrush like his weird cartoon characters on people's leather jackets. And then that kind of progressed into airbrushing the same kinds of characters on t-shirts, which at the time nobody really had like pictures on their t-shirts. Like I'm sure most of you have a t-shirt with some sort of image on it. And back in the 50s, that didn't really happen. T-shirts were considered, I guess, like underwear, so it wasn't exactly something you would be showing off much. He kind of started the trend of putting a picture on your shirt. And his most popular character that he was, I guess, drawing and putting on shirts and whatever was Rat Fink. And Rat Fink was kind of conceived as the anti-Mickey Mouse, I guess. Apparently Ed Roth just had a kind of hatred towards this cute, wholesome little character of Mickey Mouse, and that, I guess, inspired him to create Rat Fink, which is everything that Mickey Mouse is not. Rat Fink is a dirty, disgusting rodent, covered in pimples, has rotted teeth, massive armpit hair growth, usually looks like he has flies buzzing around him. He's a disgusting character, which is great because this was created back in the uptight 50s when, everybody had to be clean cut and happy-go-lucky and repress all of your feelings. Don't emote ever. Everything's fine. And then here's just this anarchic creature kind of messing up their day. And eventually, Ed Roth ended up doing a deal with Revell, the model kit company, and they made models out of some of his custom cars, as well as some of his weird creatures, such as Rat Fink. At the time, you could get a Rat Fink model kit. I'm sure those are super expensive to get on like eBay or in the aftermarket by now, unless they made like some reissues. Sometimes they do that. I definitely need some Rat Fink merch in here. All I have are some stickers over there. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I mean, they've even done like a Funko Pop out of Rat Fink at this point. So as you can guess by the model kit tie-in, the stuff he was doing was kind of big with kids as well. The coolest thing you could do at the time was get into the world of customizing cars, and if you were too young to do that, then model kits were the next best thing. And I also feel like Ed Roth, just as a person, kind of had like it was almost like a good role model for kids as well, even if he didn't seem that way at the time, because again, uptight 50s, and Ed Roth just kind of came off as like I don't know, a little bit of a beatnik or something, which was no good at the time. Those beatniks are a bunch of bums or whatever people in the 50s and 60s are saying. Really, I would say Ed Roth is almost kind of like the probably like the 50s equivalent of punk rock, like just screw what everybody else is doing and doing my own thing there, which I gotta respect, especially back then. It just seemed like a very cool sort of dude. I also heard that he was very adamant about, like not drinking or cussing, which is kind of cute and wholesome. And I guess the legacy of Rat Fink went on decades after, like 50s and 60s, because they did do Rat Fink toys in the 90s.
Got some flames on the door.
I heard those are also pretty expensive on eBay. I would certainly love to find at least one of those and put it in the cabinet of horrors. And in 2006, they did a documentary about Ed Roth called Tales of the Rat Fink. highly recommend, if you're at all interested in this guy, look up that documentary. That like this video I'm doing right now is just kind of like a basic gloss over, just kind of talking about a few things. But if you're really interested in Ed Roth, you want to learn more about him, watch that documentary, Tales of the Rat Fink, which is hosted by John Goodman, but it's John Goodman sort of acting as Ed Roth. Does that make sense? Whatever, it's a really good documentary and you should watch it. I think that's all I have to say about that. Rat Fink's just a really cool character, pretty significant part of popular culture. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit. Next week, got a big video coming. It is going to be a new episode of Hair-Raising Flicks, my horror host show. If you saw the other episodes, you'll notice this new one's going to be a little bit different. Put a little bit more production value into the hosting segments instead of just sitting down talking. I'm also getting rid of the commentary that I did over the movie because it's kind of a pain in the butt and it's hard to keep the memento going on that. So if that was your favorite part, I apologize, but it is. I kind of just wanted to do a straightforward horror host show, which I will probably do maybe 2 of those a month or 1 a month, depending on how everything works out. If it's not as successful as I'd like it to be, then I'll just do it 1 a month. I'm still going to do it because I just love to do the whole horror host thing. I think it's a lot of fun. But the main focus, I guess, will be just normal YouTube videos like this. Whatever, we'll see what happens. Time shall tell, I suppose. So until next time, I'm Candy Jack. Like and subscribe and all that junk. I really have to remind you guys to do that every time. It's like a lot of work. And I got a Twitter as well. I think I mentioned everything. Okay.